Here's our cool whale. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to paint in this really cool background. And if you look, it's really streaky and it's darker down here and then gets lighter as it goes up. All right, so I got a whole bunch of different blues. I know it's hard to see on my plate. There we go. I got this purpley blue, a dark blue, a lighter blue. And I'm actually going to start with some of this lighter blue. I mix a little white with it. Just a little bit. I want it to be just slightly lighter, not by much. You can add water if you'd like. And I apologize that I'm painting on a smaller canvas, but I got a booking for a large private party online, and the canvas size that I typically paint on for this one, I don't know if I'm going to have enough to last me, so that's why. All right. And then I'm starting from the bottom here, and I'm streaking this blue up. I'm going to grab a little more. And I'm going about halfway with this, but I'm still going to keep my marks here a little staggered. I might have gone a little more than halfway up, but that's okay. Then I'm going to rinse my brush out, dry it off a little bit. And then on the bottom here, I'm taking that purpley blue, or you can use a dark blue. And I'm going to streak some of that in there. You can see it. And you can mix it in really good. Have some of it stand out really nice. We're going to add a little more. It's just a little too wet, but I like the color that it's making. All right, and then once you are to this point, just let me know, and then we'll start from the top and work our way the other way. All right, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to put in this color on top. And I'm going to be using my purpley blue, but you can use whatever color you'd like. So I'm just going to take a little bit of it with a lot of white. And then I want it to have a little more of a pinky tone to it, so I'm going to add just a smidge of red. And then I'm going to get this really nice purpley pinky color. And then with this color, got a lot of paint on my brush. There we go. With this color, I'm going to start from the top and slowly go the other way, and then they're going to meet in the middle. And I'm not rinsing my brush out, and I'm letting the colors where they touch. If I get some blue up there, that's okay. If you don't like it, you can always kind of mix it in a little bit. Cover it up. There we go. This is kind of what I got here. And then because this has had time to dry a little bit on the bottom, I'm actually going to put a little more blue in. And I'm going to use my purpley blue. And some of those streaks show a little more. There we go. And then once you are to this point and you like your background, you can go ahead, you can fan dry it, or if you want to use a hair dryer, go ahead and use a hair dryer. That's what I'm going to do. Making these marks is really fun. Just do this all day. All right, and then once your painting is dry, let me know. If you have any questions, let me know. All right, but we're moving on to a whale next. So if you have chalk, I'm going to use chalk. But if you want to put them in with paint, you can do that too. So I'm going to be using my chalk here. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of put in the shape of him here. So he's kind of like this big, almost like a sideways teardrop, but then this kind of curves here for his tail. And the nice thing is, because we're using chalk, you don't like something, you can just wet your finger or wet a napkin and you can just wipe it away. Okay. So I'm going to start by putting in this part here. And I'm going to make sure I leave enough room for the squirts of water coming out of his blowhole. So he kind of curves down, comes back this way. And then it kind of curves like that. And kind of up like that. Kind of looks like a ghost, too. And then I'm going to give him some little fun little shapes for his tail. Kind of like that. And I'll give you a minute to catch up on there. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and put in where his smile's going to go. And I'm actually going to curve that out just a little bit. There we go. There we go. So I widen that a little bit so there's a little lip for his mouth. Then I'm going to go ahead, separate his belly from the top of him. And then his one fin starts more towards the, hold on here, I don't like that. Kind of starts up here and curves. And then this part ends up connecting to where that part of the belly is. And then I made sure to get rid of that line. And that line. And then I'm going to make a little loop right there for the other one. And then when you are to here, let me know, and then we'll start filling them in. Don't mind me, I'm just getting rid of some lines that I didn't want. There he is. Awesome. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to fill in the top part of his body. And this is a lot of white. And I'm going to mix it in with a little bit of that light blue color. But then I want to make them just slightly gray. So I'm going to add just a smidge, tiny, tiny amount of black. Little black goes a very long way. So it's kind of like a blue-gray color. And that's going to be going here. And when you fill that in here, you can also go in with some regular blue as well. And if you want to add a little white in there too with that color, just to give them a little more dimension. And then just remember to go nice and smooth around the edges. And remember, you can paint over chalk. So we're going to be painting there and here. Going to paint this fin, and we're also going to paint this fin. You can use your medium brush, and then if you got a small brush too, go ahead and use that. But here, if you look at the example, you can see some areas on that part are lighter and some are darker. And then some of the lines for his mouth and then where his fin is, those might disappear, but we can always bring those back. And then for his underbelly, if you notice, once you're ready to move on, it's kind of stripy. And you can make a gray, you can use blue. If you accidentally go over this fin, that's okay. You can always touch things up. Just kind of take your time, and I'm going to make some stripes, starting with one color. And then I'll go in with another color. And then I'm going to let his belly dry just a little bit. And I'm going to go back in and add some more color to his top part of him. Add some more little details. Oh, so how we do the belly is, so you're going to make a lot of stripe type lines. And you're going to use gray, you can use white, you can use blue. And I would use a medium brush or a small brush. And just go ahead and add a lot of stripes in there. So a lot of marks that kind of go like this. And then if you need to paint back over this fin, go ahead. So that's that one. And then this is what mine looks like right now. So he's very stripy on the bottom. Okay. Does that make sense? Belly done. All right. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, you want to go ahead and put in a nice white. We're just going to put the white in first for the tail. And I would use a medium or a small brush for that. So go ahead, grab some white, and just follow the shape. And start to fill it in. Oh, you have fish? Yeah, no, fish, all they care is that you feed them. I know yesterday, or that was the day before, I had to run to my studio and check my mail. And I was gone for maybe 20 minutes, and my dog acted like I was gone for like 5 years. My paint's still pretty wet there. Okay. All right, so once you are to this point, if you want to go ahead and dry your painting again, must be a lot of humidity in the air. This paint is taking a little longer than usual to dry. Okay, but this is what I have so far. And I'm going to go ahead and dry this, because then we're going to move on to outlines, adding the eyes, adding his smile, all of that good stuff. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and give him some eyes. And I'm going to use my small brush. And we're going to start by giving him just half circles of black right there. And if you notice, they're right next to each other. And he's kind of looking off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and take my black. And if it helps you, before we even do that, there's my chalk. You want to make a line with chalk, and then you'll know where to put those. Let's see the line. There we go. And then I'm going to make a semicircle there on an angle. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here, semicircle. Doing my best to make them as parallel and even looking as possible. And then above that, we are going to add the whites to the eyes. I just want to make sure this is dry first. But then above that, I'm going to make a angled line with dark blue. Give him an eyelid. And same thing on this side. So it kind of looks like that right now. I'm actually going to add a little black to this blue so it stands out a little more. There we go. So it looks something like that. And then once you have all of that in, you want to take that same kind of dark blackish blue and up here on the top to the side, give them a little dot for a blowhole. And then with a small brush, once you're ready, take whatever blue you'd like, and you can go ahead, and we're going to outline them. And when you outline him on his fin, just make sure to give him a little, extend it up into his body a little bit and give it a little curve. Okay. If you have questions on anything, let me know. But when you do make the outline, just make sure you go nice and slow. And then as you are outlining him, don't forget to put those little squiggly lines inside the thin part of his tail. And those are done with that blue too. Awesome. Okay. So what we're going to do, you notice we got these little whites here, and it curves here, connects to the black, and then follows that outer edge of the black, and then there. So it's kind of like a curved triangle for the white of the eye, and we're going to put one there and one there. Just go ahead and take your time. I'm going to make that, and then bring that up. So I got my one. Same thing on this side. Like that. And then I'm going to put some little white dots for highlights in the black. His pupil. There we go. So that's what I got. And then once you have that part done, right above his blowhole, you can have one looking like it's shooting out, and then some curving, but we're going to make some big curvy teardrops. They look kind of like teardrops, but big squirts of water, which is how Squirt got his name. So they're really pointy towards the bottom, and then they get nice and big and rounded as they go further up. And then go ahead and fill those in. I almost forgot that. Okay. And then once you are here, let me know and we'll talk about the bubbles. All right. So for the bubbles, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take whichever blue you want, so medium blue or the dark blue, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a circle. And then once you have the circle in, you're going to rinse your brush off and keep the brush a little wet. And then what you're going to do is you're going to slowly take some of that paint and move it inward. So it looks like your bubble has an outline, but then it's filled. So I'll do that again. So I'm going to go ahead, make a bubble. And then while the bubble is wet, I'm going to rinse my brush off, keep it a little wet, and then take some of the paint from the outline and fill my bubble in. And you can make as many bubbles as you want, or as little. So if you want a lot or a little, the choice is yours. And then once you have your bubbles in, if you want to touch any of them up, feel free to touch them up, like by maybe fixing up their outline. But then the last thing we're going to do, once you are ready, is you're going to take your small brush again with some white paint, and you're going to add some little dots and a little curved line of white for some highlights on your squirts of water. And then if you want to add some little highlights to your bubbles too. Good. And then once you are done there, if I'm going too fast, you can let me slow down. If you want to fill in part of his smile with black, or you can just leave it the blue, it's up to you. There you go. There we are. And then once you have all that in, we are all set. So let me know when you're done. Feel free to sign it when you're done. And I want to thank you, if I don't say it later, thank you again for joining me today. I hope you get to go outside and enjoy this really nice sunny day. Thank you, Denise and Dominic, and I can't wait to see the final painting. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye.